how do people open these like so well on camera? I feel like I'm just clawing into them like a raccoon, but it's fine. What's up? My name's Alea. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another reading vlog. So I thought it might be nice to vlog this week because we're supposed to get a really big winter snowstorm tomorrow, and it's supposed to be super nasty and cold and windy and snowy all week long. And so I thought, you know, it might be a good time to just stay home and have a cozy little weekly reading vlog and maybe do a little bit of baking, maybe watch some cartoons. Peyton and I have been really into watching The Misadventures of Flapjack lately, so maybe watch some of that, watch some movies, do some reading, and just have like a nice little cozy winter time. So I am currently reading a pretty thick book, and it's signed here by Claudia Lux. So this is a horror novel that came out last October, and I really wanted to get to it then, but I was just really busy and I didn't get around to it. So I picked it up on a whim a couple days ago, and I'm only like 50 pages in. I haven't really had a lot of time to read it because I was working on my romance vlog. But I'm really enjoying it so far, and we're following this main character, and his name is Peyote Trip, and he works in hell. And I really like the way that hell is talked about in here. So basically, it's a little bit like Dante's Inferno, where there's like different layers of hell. And so our main character Peyote works on the 3rd floor of hell, and on that floor the main job is to try to get humans to sell their souls to hell. And so that's his job, and basically the main goal is to try and get a bunch of people in one family to sign their souls over, because then you have like a full set of a family, and that's supposed to be like a really coveted thing in this role. And so each circle of hell has different occupations that are like associated with that level of hell. So like the very bottom layer of hell, where like the worst people are, I think they call it like the downstairs, and that's where they like actually like mutilate people and stuff. And then as you go up, the jobs get like less gruesome, and then I think you can get like promoted and demoted and stuff like that. And so the people who work in hell aren't demons, they're just like people who at one point sold their soul, and so now that they're dead, their souls work in hell for eternity. And it's really interesting. So we're following Peyote as he's trying to get the last member of this family to sign over his soul to him so that he can have a full set. And then it also like alternates perspectives. So we see Peyote's perspective, and then we also see the perspectives of different family members in this family that he's like trying to basically take all their souls. And so we get to follow each member of the family and see what their deal is. So like the wife of the family is having an affair, and so you get to see her perspective. And then her husband Silas is really chill actually, and is like really into cooking, but I'm not sure if he's like a creep or not. I haven't quite gotten like the read on him yet. And then they have a daughter, Mickey, who is in high school, and she's like a freshman, and she is playing soccer and she hates it, and she's getting bullied by some of the kids at school. And then she makes friends with this older girl named Ruth, and Ruth is really popular and really pretty and also kind of like suspicious, and they're all going on this like family trip to Silas's old like family home where they go every summer, and Ruth is going with them. And so I think there's going to be some like drama during the family trip and stuff, and you're kind of wondering like, is Silas going to figure out that his wife is cheating on him or not, because he doesn't seem to have any idea. And their dynamic is really interesting because he obviously is like still into her, even though they are not really like getting along very well anymore, and he feels like he doesn't really know his wife anymore, but he's still definitely like into her. It's very interesting. And the stuff in hell is really interesting too. I really like Peyote as a character, and he's kind of going through some stuff at work because he really like doesn't like his job, and he's got some coworkers that really suck, and his boss is kind of an asshole. And there's this new lady named Cal who's come to work in his department, and he's kind of getting to know her, and it sounds like she's not really what he thought she was from the beginning, and it's just really good. And I will say it's very like slow paced for a horror novel, and I don't think it's going to be like super scary gory type horror. It's a little bit more like dark humor, kind of creepy vibes. So I'm really enjoying it so far. It's just like not, you know, the most fast-paced scary, gory horror novel. I don't think that's really the intent of it, but I really like it so far. And I've heard some people say they really like it, and I've heard other people say that it was like too slow for them, but I'm digging it. I really like the writing style. The chapters are really, really short. The characters are really engaging, and I feel like I'm only 50 pages in, but I'm really invested in all the characters. So I think that is good so far. So that is what I've got going on with the reading. Other than that, I'm not sure what else I'm going to be reading this week. I think I'm just going to pick up whatever I'm in the mood for. I might pick up some more romance. We'll see. I have a bunch of different stuff on my TBR. So that is all I have for now, and I will update you later on when I've read something else.
This a good angle?
Are you trying to film my knees, bro? This is like the toddler angle. You're not even getting the actual baking. You're just getting my knees. Hey, no booty shots. Petunia. Poop. He's only got one arm. It's fine. Everything is fine. Hello, good morning, happy Tuesday. I have a very hot mug of tea here. Cheers. So last night I did some more reading, and I forgot to tell you guys at the beginning of this vlog that I'm reading another book as well, and it's another romance novel. I know, who's surprised? And it's called The Countess by Sophie Jordan. So this is a ARC that I got from work, and it comes out March 23rd, and this is another historical romance, and it's the first in a new series from this author. And this is really interesting because the premise is very unique in my opinion. We're following this lady named True, and she's married, and her husband is an absolute pig, and he is like pretty high up in society, and he married her because he has a title and she has a title, and she was really rich, and she had this really big dowry. And so he married her, and then very soon after they were married, he started cheating on her. And so he cheats on her all the time, he gambles away all her money, he's awful. And they have 2 kids, and he completely ignores their kids. And now they've been married for like 10 years, and our main character, True, is like 37. And she is at this seance one night with some of her girlfriends, and she goes out on the terrace to get some air, and she meets this man. And she doesn't know who he is, she's never seen him before, and they kind of have this flirty interaction, and he basically propositions her and is like, hey, do you want to have a one-night stand? And she's like, okay, this guy's really hot, but I don't want to cheat. Like, my husband is a cheater, and I'm not into that. I don't want to be anything like him. And so she tells this man no, and she's like, no, I'm married, I'm not going to do that. And the guy's like, okay, fine, like, adios. And then the whole night True is like, oh my god, maybe I should have gotten with him, like he seemed really cool, and we had this really like kind of passionate connection like right off the bat. And then a few days later she is talking with her husband, because he is just now realizing that their daughter Delia is coming out in society and is looking for a husband. And True's husband, his name is Chatham, the awful guy, he wants Delia to marry somebody who's really rich so that his son-in-law will basically pay for his lifestyle because they're running out of money. And so he has found this man named Jasper Thorne that he wants Delia to marry. And True is like, no, I don't want you to pick our daughter's husband. Like, she should have the right to choose who she wants to marry. She should be able to have a love match, whatever. And Chatham's like, no, like, she's gonna marry the man with the deepest pockets. That's how it is. I don't care if you like it or not. And so one thing leads to another, and True ends up meeting this man, Jasper Thorne, that her husband wants their daughter to marry. And turns out Jasper Thorne is the saucy man she met on the terrace that night at the seance. And so True ends up kind of like having this secret pining for her daughter's suitor. What a premise. So anyways, Jasper Thorne is a really interesting character. He has a daughter from a previous marriage, and his previous wife passed away, and he really wants a new wife to help take care of his daughter and like introduce her to society and stuff. And he was raised as like kind of a lower class guy. His dad owned this string of inns and stuff, and he's now like taken them over and expanded them, and now he's really wealthy, and he doesn't have a title, but he's like high up in society because he's like super rich now. And so he's kind of trying to like infiltrate, it's called the Ton, the like British aristocracy. And so he's kind of like trying to find a young wife, but the thing is, all the women who are debutantes are really young. They're like teenagers, and he's in his 30s, and he's not like super into having a young bride. And so he is kind of like thinking about courting Delia, but secretly he really wants her mom, True, and True is married, and it's like a whole thing. It's very messy, but it's very fun. I really like the writing style. It's super easy to fly through, and there's lots of different characters that we follow. We also meet some of True's friends who are also different, like women with titles who are wealthy and stuff, and a lot of them also have really awful husbands. So I think this whole series is going to be following these like scandalous ladies of London who are kind of like trying to get with other men now that their husbands have died, and a lot of them are older and they've had really bad experiences with men in the past. And so it's a little bit different from other historicals where you're usually following like a young lady who's trying to get married for the first time, and these women are experienced and they know what the heck's going on, and they don't have their rose-colored glasses on with these men anymore. It's very fun. And there's also a lot of action in here. Like there's one point where they are traveling and their stagecoach gets held up by highwaymen, and True and Jasper have all of this like sexual tension going on and this fun banter and stuff, and I'm really enjoying this so far. I am very excited for it to come out because I really want to hear what other people have to think, because I really want to hear what other people have to say about it. But right now it's sitting at like a 4.5 for me. Like could be a 5, could be a 4, could go either way. But I'm on page 281, and so I'm on chapter 25, so I'm almost done. I'm like right here, and I have my little Bob Ross bookmark with his happy trees. But anyway, so I'm almost done with this, so I will let you know what I think when I finish it. But that is all I have for you at the moment. I have to go get ready for work, even though the weather is absolutely god-awful outside and the wind has been howling for like a full 2 days. And so if you hear background noise from the howling, sorry, there's nothing I can do. It's howling in every corner of my house right now. But I'm gonna go get ready for work, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. Your check as I'm chess, what's happening next?
Hello, good morning. Different day, same mug, same tea, we know how it is. So I haven't updated you because I've been busy and a lot of things have happened since I talked to you last. So here's the deal. Basically, in the last couple months, I've been applying for other jobs. And you might be like, Alea, don't you work at an indie bookstore? Like, why do you want a different job? Well, do you ever just have your boss cut your hours without telling you, and then you go to your manager and say, hey, I really need those hours, and she says, for what? For what? Ho, for what? Because I have to eat, like, hello. Anyways, so that among a bunch of other things made me want to look for another job. And so yesterday morning I was asleep because I work late, and my phone rang and I answered it, and it was one of the ladies that I interviewed with last week. and she offered me a job. And so I accepted the position and I start my new job at the end of March, and I'm really, really excited. So it's an administrative assistant position, and I have my own office with a door, and it's really cute, and I'm really excited. So whenever I start and I actually get in my office, I will give you guys like a little tour and stuff because it's really cool. So I'm really excited about that. So I've been dealing with that, and then I got off the phone with her and I was like, oh shit, like I need to put my 2 weeks in today. So I put my 2 weeks notice in with my current job, and then I was like, okay, now I gotta prep for this new job that I'm getting, so I need to get a parking pass and like order some new nicer clothes because it's like a nicer job. I can't just run around my ripped jeans all the time like I do now. And so I've been like thinking about all that stuff and ordering some things and looking into the parking pass thing, and anyways, it's been a lot. So I've been busy. It's good stuff and I'm excited, but it's just been a lot. So I was kind of just chilling last night watching Katie Coulson's vlogs and like eating enchiladas in bed. You ever just? Anyway, so I was doing that, and then I've also been doing a little bit of reading. So 2 nights ago I was up till like 2:30 in the morning because I was reading this book, and it's really freaking good, and I'm almost done with The Scandalous Ladies of London, the Countess, and this is the one I was reading at 2 a.m. and I have like 30 pages left. I'm so close, but I was like reading, and I was like, I'm having such a good time, and then I looked at the clock and I was like, oh shit, it's fully like 2:30 and I need to go to bed because I gotta work. So I'm almost done with this. I'm loving it. Honestly, I think it's gonna be 5 stars. It's so good. Like I said, this is an arc that comes out March 23rd, and it's so good. I just really like Sophie Jordan's writing style in here, and her characters are so snarky and fun, and I really love the connection between Jasper and True, and they just have such good banter and such good chemistry, and I love it. I'm just living for this. And there's also a lot of girls in here that she's friends with that we are going to get more books from in the future, but since it's an arc, the other books aren't out yet. And so I was like, God, I really want to read more Sophie Jordan when I'm done with this, because I'm just like in the mood for her stuff, but I can't read book 2 because it's not here yet. So I was like, well shit, what am I gonna read then? So I started another book last night, and it's the first book in her prison romance series, because I was looking at all of the reviews on Goodreads for her other books, and it sounds like a lot of people don't like her other historical romances as much. And so I was like, okay, well, what else does she have? So she's got this prison romance series, and there's 5 books, and they're all following different guys who are ex-cons. And so I started book 1 as an ebook last night, and it's so good already. I read like the first 3 chapters, I think. And so it's called All Chained Up, and it is following this guy, and he's in prison, and well, he and his brother are actually both in the same prison, and it's a high security prison, and there's this woman, Briar, who's a nurse, and she comes to the prison because they are really short-staffed and they need some medical assistance to help like treat the inmates who are sick and injured and that kind of thing. So she and this doctor guy start going to the prison once a week to help them, and her first day, this guy Knox gets in a fight, and he gets like beat up a little bit, and he also beats up some other dudes a little bit, and so he gets brought to the infirmary, and that's where I left off. He's like getting taken to like the health unit, and I'm assuming that they're gonna meet, and in the premise it says that they kind of get together once he gets out on parole. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. I just really like the idea of like the prison nurse and one of the ex-cons like getting together. So anyways, I am really excited, and so far the writing is really good and entertaining, and we get to see like dual POV, so we get to see from Briar's perspective as she's like coming into this prison for the first time, and there's all these guards, and she's like really nervous because she's the only woman around, and there's a lot of dangerous men in this building. And then we also get to see Knox and like the fight scene and why he's fighting with this other guy, and the kind of crew that he's a part of inside of this prison. And then I was going back and looking at the other books in the series, and I realized that in that very first scene with Knox, in the fight scene, we get to meet Knox and his younger brother North, who's also in the prison because they committed a crime together. And then this other guy Reed, who is like the leader of the prison crew that they're kind of a part of. And all 3 of those guys get their own books in the series. So I thought that was really cool that she introduced all 3 of those like main romantic leads in the first scene. I think that's really cool. So that's fun. And then also we get to hear Knox talk about like why he and his little brother North are in prison. So as it turns out, they went to jail because they murdered a guy who sexually assaulted their cousin. And so that's interesting. And it sounds like they didn't get that many years. Like, he's been in jail for like 8 years, but his sentence wasn't super harsh because the jury like sympathized with him because they killed a guy who was actually like a bad dude. So anyways, a lot of layers to that onion, but so far I'm really into this. So that's what I'm reading. And then also I have some book mail to show you because I ordered a book on Pengo and it came in the mail yesterday and I wanted to open it with you. I need to not flash you my address. How do people open these like so well on camera? I feel like I'm just clawing into them like a raccoon, but it's fine. Okay, actually for real, these scissors are like 2nd grade scissors. Like, that's not gonna do shit. Okay. Okay, this is actually a hard mailer to open. Watch me just, yeah, we're going raccoon mode. I'm so sorry. Give me the book. Open it on camera, she says. That'll be fun. Oh my god, I just got cardboard literally all over. I'm so graceful. We'd love to see it. Shit. Okay, so this is the book that I got, and it's another romance novel. Let me show you. Okay, I got another Lisa Kleypas. Who is surprised? Not me. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Look at this cover. Hello? Who is she? So this is the first one in another one of her series. It's called Someone to Watch Over Me. And I finished Secrets of a Summer Night, and then I was like, I want more Lisa Kleypas. So I ordered this because it was really cheap on Pengo. But I'm trying to remember what this is about and why Past Me was so insistent on ordering it like right in the moment. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I completely forgot. Whatever. Past Me's got good taste. I'm sure she had a reason why she got it. Oh, no, I do remember why. Okay. So this is about a guy, and I think he's a detective of sorts, and he is walking through London one day, and he pulls this lady out of the Thames, and she's like unconscious, and he realizes that he knows her, and she is like a lady of the night. And I'm not sure if they like had a thing before or what the deal was, but he knows who she is, and so he pulls her out of the water, and when she wakes up she has amnesia and doesn't remember who she is. And so he tells her that she's his mistress, I think, or wife, and he takes her back to his house and kind of like nurses her back to health, it sounds like, and then they have a romance. So anyways, very interesting. This series sounded really good. I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but I am very intrigued by the premise, and so I found a cheap copy and I ordered it. So if you've read this or you've read the other books in the series, I think the second or the third one is called Worth Any Price, and then book 2 is Lady Sophia's Lover. So if you've read either of those, let me know what you think of this series. But it sounded fun, and I'm obsessed with Lisa Kleypas, so I wanted to read some more of her stuff. So I bought this, and that's all I have to say on that. And then there's really cute little like pictures inside too, with the little flowers as the chapter headings. Cute. So I'm obsessed with this, and I think that's all I have for you right now. I'm gonna go eat breakfast. I'm gonna go make a bagel, maybe a smoothie if I'm feeling zesty, and then I need to get ready for work and get all this cardboard off of me. And I will talk to you probably tonight. I'm not sure what we have going on tonight because the last couple days Peyton has been gone because he's on a work trip in Florida, and I'm so jealous because it's like 80 degrees here, and it's 80 degrees, and I'm so jealous because it's like 80 degrees in Florida right now, and I've been freezing my ass off all week, and it's been snowing and ripping rain all week. Ho, it's so cold. I've been freezing my ass off. Literally, I'm sleeping with like 5 blankets on and just like huddled in bed with my enchiladas, like trying to survive. But he's supposed to be back this afternoon, but we're not sure if his flight's gonna get canceled because of all the snow, so we'll see. His flight there got canceled, and he was supposed to fly out at like 4 a.m. Oh my god, that's also why I haven't updated you, because we had that night, the night before I found out that I got the job, Peyton and I were up super late because his flight got canceled, and his boss called like 3 times in the middle of the night, and they were trying to reschedule his flight, and it was a big mess. And then I was trying to sleep and then found out about the job, and then went down that whole rabbit hole. So it's been chaotic, but we are trying to live, love, laugh. Pray for me. So I'm gonna go and I will talk to you later.
Are you ready for this? Come on, we could just go all in. Are you ready for this? Come on, we could just go all in. We could just go all in. We could just go all in. Loving you is a gamble. Loving you is a gamble. Oh, burning me like a candle. You could be such a handful. Oh, why you always loving? We could just.
Does it look like spring to you? What's up? I'm sleepy and I'm cold, but I'm here to wrap up this vlog for you. This is for you. So I read some more of All Chained Up by Sophie Jordan, and I got myself a physical copy off Pengo because I'm so obsessed with this book. And I've been putting off updating you about it because I didn't want to just scream at you, but this book is fantastic and I'm obsessed with it. I'm 237 pages in now, and the reason I'm so obsessed with it is because towards the beginning of the novel there is this really incredible chapter, and it blew my socks off to the point where I stayed up till like 1 in the morning because I had to finish this chapter, and I was pacing around the apartment and Peyton was like, we need to go to bed. I was like, I can't, I have to read this chapter or I'm not gonna be able to sleep. And then I only slept for like 5 hours and I woke up at like 6 a.m. because I wanted to read this book. I don't do that. I never do that. So I'm really into this. So I don't want to spoil too much of this because this is a really, really good book. And I think if you're into romance, you should definitely try this out because it's fantastic. If you like angst, if you like action, if you like good, well-written, steamy scenes, this is for you, for sure. If you like, you know, dark, rugged bad boys, this is your book, girl. This is your book. Anyways, so I don't want to spoil the plot, but I have to tell you about this chapter because I can't stop screaming about it to all my coworkers. So basically, this guy Knox, at the beginning of the book, like I said, he gets in a fight and he has to go to the infirmary where he meets the nurse Briar, and they have kind of like this chemistry going on and whatever. Well, because he got in a fight, he got in trouble with the guards, and so they locked him up for like a week in this like dark, dank cell with no windows as like a punishment for, you know, fighting with the other guys. And so then after he gets out of that like solitary confinement week, he goes out in the yard and he like meets back up with his brother, and he and the other guys are like playing basketball and stuff, and his brother tells him that these two new guys who are inmates have decided, like made this crackpot plan that they're gonna break into the infirmary and assault the nurse because these two dudes are lifers and they have nothing to lose. And Knox is like, I can't let that happen. And so he intentionally gets in a fight, and he basically says to his brother, like, okay, I need you to hit me. And his brother's like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, I need you to hit me because that's the only way that I'll get into the infirmary is if I'm hurt and I start another fight. And so his brother North hits him and his nose is like bleeding and stuff, and sure enough they take him to the infirmary and they chain him up to one of the beds in there, and the two dudes who have planned this whole like hijack plan are already in there. And then it goes back and forth between Knox's perspective and Briar's perspective, and Briar is like looking at these two guys that just got brought in, and she's like, they don't really seem like they're sick, but like the guards said that they threw up, like I feel like something's not right. And anyways, things go off and Knox has to save her ass, and it is so intense. It was so intense. I was obsessed with it, and it's so well written. I love Knox. He's so smart, and he basically came up with this whole plan to save her ass, but he doesn't tell her that he intentionally put himself in that position so he could save her. He kind of just plays it off like, you know, he just happened to be there and saved her because he had like this one heroic moment or whatever. But it's totally like planned out. And this man, I'm obsessed. I can't stop thinking about it. Anyways, and it's also really interesting because we know from his past that he has a thing for like men who are cruel to women. It's like a big trigger for him, and he just goes off, dude. He goes off. Oh my god. Anyways, it's a whole thing. But that whole incident with him ties into their relationship later on when they meet when he's out on parole. It's a whole thing. Anyways, and I also wanted to like read farther into the book before I updated you, because I heard some people say in their Goodreads reviews that they didn't think the book was as good once he gets out of prison. And there's definitely like a tone shift there, but I feel like it's still good. Like they have really good chemistry, and it's interesting to see his thought process and the things that he experiences once he's out of prison. Yeah, it's really, really good. So anyways, I'm still like totally down bad for this book, but I know that if I don't stop this vlog now, I am gonna keep it going for way too long, because I've been noticing lately that I do this thing where I read like 3 books at once, and then I like really pressure myself to try and finish multiple books in one vlog, and then it just goes on too long, because that's just not really how I am as a reader. Like I read a lot of stuff at once, and I just kind of finish things whenever I feel like it, you know? So I've decided that this is going to be the first vlog in like a new vlog series on my channel, where I'm gonna call them the homebody vlogs, where I just kind of like mood read whatever I want, and I might finish books, or I might just read some of 3 different books and tell you my thoughts and then hang out and do other stuff. But I want it to be a little bit more low-key, and then also have other vlogs where they're more like reading challenges, where that's going to be a little bit more intense and, you know, more about reading a certain group of books and like finishing them for the vlog, versus these ones are a lot more like chill, like life updates and, you know, baking and mood reading and just having a cozy time. So anyways, that's my plan. That's my executive decision. So I think I'm going to stop this vlog here, even though I haven't finished anything yet, because I feel like it. That's my thought. So I'm still working my way through Sign Here, and I still have like 30 pages left of the Scandalous Ladies of London the Countess, and then I am also about to finish All Chained Up. So that's where we're at. And also I've been thinking more about like comparing these two, since they're by the same author, and I feel like this one is like a 4.5, really good, love the characters, very fun, but this one is a 5. This one just hits different. So they're both really fantastic, but this one's a new release and it just came out March 23rd. So if you're looking for a historical to read, this one's really good, but if you're looking for what I think is like a top tier romance, this is the one right here. This is the one. So anyways, that's my opinions on that. Let me know what you think of the like Homebody Diaries vlog series idea, because I have seen some other people do something kind of similar, and I just like the idea of having some more like really chill, laid back vlogs. So if you're here for that, this is the series for you. So if you got to the end of this vlog, leave me trying to think of, leave me a dragon emoji for Knox's dragon tattoo. And with that, I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!